So this is Beginner Master's Path. We are doing the 10 important points of Tai Chi, 10 guidelines to help you understand how to move Tai Chi. And the thing about these 10 important points is they're really, sorry, I'm looking for where the book is. I'm looking for my place in the book while I talk. The 10 important points are most useful if you've already memorized the form. Maybe they're good to hear early on, maybe plant the seed for how to move later. But if you're still thinking about how to do the move, the 10 important points may not be that beneficial yet. But then sort of once you've memorized, which, by the way, memorizing is a significant challenge, especially at first, so I'm not trying to minimize that. But once you have it memorized, like, what do you do next? Are you done learning Tai Chi? You're not. You're not. Unless you are. If you want to get better, if you want to try to master it, then there's ways to help you. This is our beginner textbook. It's called Tai Chi Chuan Principles and Practice. It's not we didn't publish it. It's by a guy, the late C.K. Chu guy on the cover. And there's a lot of information out there in a way that can almost hurt you if you try to look at it all when you're first starting. Not hurt you, but sort of harm your Tai Chi path, maybe we could say. This book is well translated. I'm sorry, it's written in English. It's got classics, like the classic writings of Tai Chi in a really good translation, which I've seen some that aren't so good, and it's harder to get what they're saying. And it's written in just a relevant way to someone who's just starting Tai Chi or who might want to. Great book. And this has a good translation of the 10 important points. Since it's the last class of the unit, I'm going to go straight back to the 10th important point. And like I said, it kind of depends on knowing the form for it to be too meaningful. But worst case, you're just getting more Tai Chi practice, so that's not a terrible worst case. But yeah, so it also kind of depends on the first 9 important points. So good luck. I like it anyway, though. Okay, number 10. Within motion, find quiet. Motion and quiet become one. Within motion, find quiet. Motion and quiet become one. So that's the important point. They're simple, they're short. The commentary is, we'll talk about it a little more. So the commentary says, I'll probably just paraphrase rather than read to the camera, but even when there's movement, there is still quiet. When practicing the form, the slower the better. When slow, the breathing is deep and long. The chi sinks to the dantian naturally, without the problem of blood vessels expanding too much. Students should analyze this point attentively so they are able to grasp the meaning of it. Tai Chi Chuan uses quiet to subdue motion. So, this being the 10th, it's not the most obvious. But as a way to sort of start understanding it, I would say, think of it almost as checking whether you're present when you practice your form. Mentally present, physically present. So, just an easy example is if you start doing your form and you're in your body, you're not in your head, as we say, you're in your body. It's another way to describe it. But say you're starting like that, and then at some point in your form, a thought pops into your head. It's natural. That's what our brains do, right? It might be about your Tai Chi. It might be about something else, like your grocery list or something like that. When that does, do you get carried away in the thought, or do you sort of notice it and go back to being present in your form? And that's, I would say, the easiest, not easy to do, but the easiest to understand entrance into this important point. Okay, and how to practice? Well, we'll just do our first section, which earlier in the unit we weren't already doing that in basic training, but we'll do that same thing, but it'll be a little different. It'll be slower and no emphasis on correct feet, correct anything else, except for this idea of finding quiet in the motion. Motion and quiet become one. So if you'd like to practice the first section of the form with me, It will, like I said, it'll go slower, and I'll be focusing as well on this one important point. Number 10. And also I may call out reminders sort of as we go through, just in case you get caught up in your own script or your own thoughts. I'll try to periodically recall you to the task. Begin. Within motion, find quiet. Quiet and motion become one. Find your mind wandering, bring it back to your body. Use your breath. Become present. Just your practice of feeling through the body. Awareness of sensation as you move. Again, if you're lost in thought, put yourself back in your body. It might just be through generally relaxing your movement. I think we quite have time to do that once more. I'd encourage you to try it on your own after class is over. Do one more of just checking yourself for presence. It talks about quiet and motion, and I like this concept because one reason I like it is it kind of gets at the whole mind-body duality thing and how we tend to think of our minds and bodies as separate things when really they aren't. And even if you know that intellectually, for me, Tai Chi was the first way that I knew it firsthand, or like my first beginning of experiencing it as a true thing and not as just what people say is true, or what I know is true because the brain is part of the body. So, quiet mind makes sense. We understand sort of a chattery mind or a quiet mind. quiet in the body. What does that feel like? Well, we've felt the same kind of fuzzy feeling in the body, and what does the quiet in the body feel like? So combining both of those, the mind and the body, finding quiet in motion. There's probably a good yin-yang analogy to some of that, but y'all want me to talk about that. You want to practice Tai Chi. So let's close out with a few deep breaths. Inhale. Let's do about 5 of these. Exhale. Inhale, let the arms circle out, roll out naturally, circle, gently stretch. Exhale, push the palms, feel the palms against the air. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Let the whole body relax with exhale. Last. Thanks for joining. Master's Path dismissed. Head instructor gauges. Kung Fu class will begin whenever he's ready for it to. Soon.